justice, healing, education. Time to awaken the community. Good morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you are currently watching. My name is Holly, as you guys should know by now, if you don't know by now. I am the host of this lovely program that we love to call Morning Mimosas, where we value human life, justice, healing, and education for the Black and minority communities. Why, you ask? Yeah, there it is. So today, guys, we've already covered the story of Rodney Tate Jr., which is this lovely soul right here. His name was Rodney Tate Jr. of Denver, Colorado, on 4/20, which would be 23 years tomorrow. Rodney Tate Jr. and his friend Thomas, I will not say Thomas's last name to protect him, were at the McDonald's over there on Bruce Randolph and Colorado Boulevard. Back then it was Bruce Randolph was 34th Avenue. And they got into it with the killers who would later follow them to where eventually both Thomas and Rodney were shot, which is near Martin Luther King and Niagara. So just to give you guys a little bit of a heads up, I did do a video of myself at that specific McDonald's, and I did state that it was Martin Luther King in Newport. Newport is right over in the same area where, unfortunately, Rodney and Thomas was shot, and then they crashed into a yard. So, guys, let's talk about Rodney Tate Jr. This is Rodney Tate Jr., guys. He was born on January 10th, 1982, to Rodney Tate Sr. and Miss Carolyn Tate. He had another brother and then a sister named Erica. Rodney was a good kid. You know, he wasn't tied up in all of the, the typical stuff that people get, kids get into, peer pressure, gangs and stuff like that. Rodney wasn't like that. He was a really, really good kid. And it was just really unfortunate that this happened to him. And, I will say one good thing is that his friend Thomas survived. I wasn't able to find him, but wherever he is, I hope he's thriving after going through such an ordeal like that and losing his friend. It's really sad. I'm actually going to go ahead and play the clip of me at that specific McDonald's. Once again, that McDonald's is located at Bruce Randolph and Colorado Boulevard in Denver. So let's take a look. April 20th, 2002, Rodney Tate Jr. and his friend Thomas were at this McDonald's here on Bruce Randolph and Colorado Boulevard. Back then it was 34th Avenue. While they were at this specific McDonald's, they ran into the killers that would eventually take his life over there on Martin Luther King and Newport. So yeah, that was me at the crime scene a few days ago. Well, the start of the crime, I should say, because that's where Rodney met the killers. But the thing that bothers me about this whole story is that Rodney was completely innocent. He was 20 years old, just trying to live his life. He had just left his uncle and aunt's house, met up with his friend Thomas. They ended up at that McDonald's, and then he ended up losing his life by Martin Luther King in Niagara. So, I just want to understand something when it comes to the community. What argument could you get into with someone that would make you say, hey, I'm gonna take this person's life? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't understand that logic when it comes to people. You don't have to do that. You know, you can get into an argument with somebody, you can agree to disagree and keep it pushing. Whoever those people were that were arguing with Rodney and Thomas at that McDonald's, what was the purpose of that? What was the purpose where y'all felt like y'all had to argue with them and then you guys went less than a mile to shoot them? Like there was absolutely no heart when it came to that. And it's absolutely disgusting when it comes to this case and then many other cases that I look at and research and try to seek justice for, is people's lack of emotional intelligence when there's a disagreement. I don't understand that. Maybe I'm not meant to understand stupid stuff. There's just that. But to whoever those dumbasses were, because you guys know me, I don't have mercy for killers. Okay, this person took Rodney's life, so I have no mercy for that person. I don't give a fuck who that person is. I have no mercy for you. So I will call you a dumbass. I'll call you a bitch. I'm gonna call you all of that because you had no right to take Rodney's life. Okay, this was 20. It'll be 23 years tomorrow. You understand? He was 20 years old. 20. He should be 43. He should be 43 years old now. But no, people are evil and have ill intentions towards another person. Like I said, I just don't get it. Like, this man was just living his 20-year-old life, hanging out with his family, hanging out with his friend, and someone just because of a disagreement felt the need to take his life. I'm telling you, we have to grow up from that mentality, guys. Like, the fact that people are just so quick to, get a gun and take somebody's life, just, it's beyond me, and I'm so sick of that shit, and that shit definitely needs to change. Guys, I'm going to have our banner going down here, and then I'm also going to have this number up here because this is the Metro Crime Stoppers number. So, if you guys know anything pertaining to Rodney Tate's murder that happened on April 20th, 2002, that is the number you can call, and you can be anonymous. I keep trying to preach that to you guys. You guys can be anonymous. I'm sorry. I'm so tired of people being pussy and having information that can help a family get justice, but they keep it to themselves. I'm so sick of that shit. Okay, we need to change that. Okay, you can be anonymous if you want, if you're scared. Sorry to have to maybe put that little fear in you to make you come forward so these families can heal properly, because they can actually know why, even though it's not right, no matter what the why is, they will at least know why it happened to their loved one, and they can have some form of healing, because they would never be able to fully forget that, right? But they can have some true healing instead of confusion. So the next video I will be playing, I played a clip of it when I did the audio episode for Rodney Tate Jr., but I'm going to have you guys see the visual copy of that video that I posted on the audio. So this clip is courtesy of the Denver police's YouTube, my apologies. And it was taken, oh my goodness, 8 years ago. So it was a while back, but I really want you guys to take a look at the family, and I want you guys to be human for just a second with me. Okay, so right now we're going to go ahead. Once again, this is courtesy of the Denver Police YouTube channel, and this is the cold case of Rodney Tate. So we're going to go ahead right now. We're going to share this episode that they did, and let's get into it.
This concerns Denver Police case number 2002-18178. The cold case homicide that happened on April 20th of 2002, and the victim being a Rodney Tate. Rodney was shot several times. He was pronounced deceased on scene.
Rodney was a big guy. He was tall, like he had his daddy's height. He was 6'3", 265 pounds, and I always called him my teddy bear.
You know how you have your sibling rivalries. We fought. We We fight and he'd follow me. Like, stop following me. We just got into a fight, but we still had fun.
Little Rodney was very generous. He wasn't no fighter or nothing. He was a very giving guy. He was
Just growing up. Just
just
growing up.
growing
That's
up.
all. Just growing up. Just growing up in the neighborhood.
On April 20th, 2002, just prior to 6:20 at night, Rodney Tate was a passenger in a Chevy Blazer driving eastbound here on MLK. At approximately Niagara, the suspect vehicle pulls up alongside the victim's car and begins firing shots into the victim's car. The shooting continues as the victim's car is going eastbound. The victim's car takes a left turn in between this tree and the evergreen, cutting northbound. It's going to cut across MLK to the second house here on the left. This is where the first 911 call comes in of the shooting, and where responding officers and paramedics find the victim deceased in the car and the other victim of the shooting.
He had just left my house on that particular day. I was like, hey, see you later, nephew, and just another typical, goodbyes,
At 5:30, I got a call, and she told me Rodney's been shot.
And I couldn't believe it. I was like, well, it can't be. He just pulled out my alley.
I don't even think I put shoes on. We were out of there so fast.
When I got there and I saw the yellow tape, I knew when I saw the yellow tape, someone's life had been taken. And I was hoping that it wasn't Rodney's life. And as it continued on throughout the night, come to find out that it was Rodney's life that had gotten taken. He was still sitting in the truck when I got there. When I went to go up to the truck, they wouldn't let me go up to the truck. So that was the day his life was taken.
Further investigation led detectives to understand that there was an altercation approximately 15 minutes to 30 minutes prior to the shooting at 34th and Colorado. Two groups, the victim's vehicle and the suspect's vehicle, were involved in an altercation at the McDonald's. There was a verbal altercation. There was no description of any weapons displayed or a physical altercation of any sort.
You're here, 1 minute, next thing you're gone. So I would say to anyone that knows anything about Rodney Tate's murder to please come forward, say something, because you never know when it could happen to your family.
Nothing's gonna bring him back, but somebody need to pay for it.
There are people out there on this case in Rodney Tate's murder who have seen, who have heard things that have not come forward. I plead with the communities that are affected by this violence. If you have information, please come forward. Please call Crime Stoppers.
I don't ever want to forget. Not ever. As long as I live.
Ooh. Yeah, that's never an easy one to watch for me, and I've seen it several times. I also just want to note one thing. You guys saw at the beginning, you guys saw Rodney's parents, Rodney Sr. and Miss Carolyn. I really hate to be the one to announce this, but Miss Carolyn is no longer with us. She passed away in March of 2023. So I just wanted to go ahead and take the time and honor her very quickly. And she died not fully knowing what happened to her son, but I just want to say rest in love to Rodney's mother, Miss Carolyn Tate. I'm so sorry that you passed away without knowing what happened to your son, truly. But the good thing is that you're reunited with him. Um, it's hard to say stuff like that, because it's bittersweet, because yes, they're reunited, but she died not knowing what happened to her son. But rest in love, Miss Carolyn Tate. I'm just really sorry that for everything that's happened with this family. Honestly, it's really, really sad. They lost a son before Rodney. So it's a lot. It's a lot of loss in the Tate family. And what makes it what makes it worse is that somebody knows what happened, right? Colorado Boulevard is a very well-traveled street, north and south. So, and of course, it was at a McDonald's. Somebody definitely heard who was arguing with Rodney and Thomas. Sad situation. Wasn't right. Look how much the Tate family suffered. And still are. Because no one till this day knows who shot Rodney or Thomas. Like no one knows who shot them. Even though, let's correct that, somebody does know, but they aren't saying anything. So that's why that number is right there. Right there. The number is right there. Right there. Call it. It's right there. You see me pointing at it, right? The number is right there. Call Crime Stoppers if you guys know what happened to Rodney Tate almost 23 years ago. It's time to come forward. This family has been through enough. They've been through enough. It just hurts even more because the matriarch, she's gone too. On April 20th, 2002, Rodney Tate Jr. and his friend Thomas were at the McDonald's on Bruce Randolph and Colorado Boulevard, Bruce Randolph, formerly known as 34th Avenue. They got into an altercation with some unknown assailants who followed them and ended up shooting them on MLK and Niagara. For those of you that don't know where that is, the closest intersection would be Martin Luther King and Monaco in Denver, Colorado. If you know anything about the homicide of Rodney Tate Jr. that took place almost 23 years ago, call the number provided. You can call Crime Stoppers and you can be anonymous. 720-913-7867. My bad. Flustered. Irritated. Sorry. It's because somebody knows something and it just makes me sometimes tongue-tied. And people keep information like that and they're not doing a damn thing to help another family. It just makes me so livid that people are so bitch made. But yeah, call the number. You can be anonymous. It's time for the Tate family to get some true healing. It's time for Rodney to get justice. It's been way too long. Okay? It's been way too long. I'm tired. I'm a tired human being. He didn't deserve to die like that. His friend Thomas didn't deserve to get shot. His parents didn't deserve to lose a son. His sister didn't deserve to lose a brother. And the uncles and aunts didn't deserve to lose their nephew that day. I always ask the question, would you guys like that if that was your family? No. So why do that to another one? Just saying. Call Crime Stoppers at the number you guys see provided if you guys know any information about any homicide in Denver, in the Denver area. It's time to get justice for folks. They deserve it because they did not deserve to die. But as you guys know, this is Morning Mimosas. But before I do that, how insensitive of me. Rest in love, Rodney Tate Jr. I will continue to seek justice for you and your family. And to the Tate Ford family, please, if you guys see this episode, because I know that someone in the family, I believe, has heard the audio episode that I've done, please get in touch with me. Let's work together. Let's get Rodney justice. It's been way too long. Call the number, please. Guys, this is Morning Mimosas, where we value justice, healing, and education for the Black and minority communities. Until next time, you guys remember to put human back in humanity. Later.